100%. Sick, we're live. Oh, wait.
I've had,
Now we're live. You were saying?
no
one's here
just
yet,
say,
so.
oh, we got 5 people waiting on YouTube.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Sheesh. So, the plan is we're going to let... this has 2 likes already and 6... Oh, my fucking God. Okay.
3 likes, sir. 3 likes.
So we'll, heyo. All right, we got Swing Ripper. We've got Dapper Loser in. Oh, man. Oh, I'm nervous. I can make YouTube videos all day. I can literally do live broadcasts, but like all of a sudden, sheesh. So we're gonna have a little bit of elevator music going on, a little casual. Let everyone come in before we get started doing the stuff. And yeah.
Are you intentionally sharing the share of the Discord stream at the bottom?
No, that was unintentional.
Okay. I'm cool with that. But all right. Cool.
This
What
is
do we
our
have
elevator
here?
music. So it was
Good evening,
just
folks.
indeed we've got.
Do your intro, man.
Okay.
Do your intro.
All right, fine. All right. Because Swing Ripper's in here, he might be the only one who appreciates this, but I had this planned. Wait, I gotta kill the music so I can add it in post. Okay. Boys! One shot. Who was I imitating? And how was it? Out of 10.
Was that... You're doing Jordan Peele?
No, I'm doing Ludwig.
Ha!
Boys! Who's probably my favorite YouTuber. Okay, wait, let me redo it so I can do the whole thing. One shot, one take, Jake. Okay. We're gonna go just webcam. Boys, today we are bringing together the Discord server to do some MF world building for the collected West Marches game that we're all gonna be playing in. I'm joined here today with Andrew, aka Andrew. Oh, you're right. It is the plan is simple. And then we've got Rice, aka Flugarius, Andrew, aka Left Hand of Doom, for those of you in the Discord server, and Rice, aka Flugarius, in the Discord server. They are the admins. They've been helping me. If you saw the lead-up video, they are my good friends who I trust. And we're going to do a little bit of Q&A to start. We'll do some world building afterwards once more people filter in, provided we get more people. I'm thinking we'll go like maybe 2 hours, and at 7 p.m. PST. And welcome on in. Let's play the Me channel music.
We got 9 watching. That's awesome.
I know, I'm kind of fucking pumped, not going to lie.
Mine is stuck that's saying that you started streaming 69 seconds ago. I've taken a picture for posterity.
Thank you.
Nice.
That's what it's all about.
And for everybody watching, oh, we got 10 watching. For everybody watching, this is a Q&A for you guys. This is a chance for you guys to ask us questions about where this is going. We have a suggestions channel on the Discord so that you can post your suggestions there if you have some ideas. I am pretty sure Austin's going to post the link in the bottom. You know, I've always wanted to do that, be able to point down and be like, the link will be in the bottom. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, wait, who am I here? The link is in the doobly-doo below.
Yes. Hold on, you got to do like that. You got to do the 2 hands.
In the doobly-doo. All right.
I think you coined that term.
Ginger Snap, you have revealed yourself as your real name. We now know your government name. So now the ops can come after you. The feds can come after you. We should have known indeed. Yeah, so, fuck, where do we begin?
Well, I mean, again, throw your questions in chat if you have them. We'll get to those as we're going. I think you should start with what your goal is. What do you want out of this?
Oh, you mean what Swing Ripper just said? I'm going to ask again about guiding philosophy? What is the goal of the game? Okay, so I told both of them the ideal situation. Who hears what's going on, Ziggy from the server BTW? Who here has played Stellaris? This is the dream. I'm ultimately not expecting this to happen, and whatever happens, happens. I think part of the fun of doing a server like this is, and like one of the things that that it's helping me do is just let go from any sort of pre-planned narrative and just kind of let the group consensus decide. But ultimately, the dream is you stay the fuck on, Swing Ripper. I'm just kidding. You do what you want. Ultimately, the dream is it starts with the collection of players, and it's sort of exploration based, discovering all of these points of interest, making your mark on the map. So naming rights is a big thing that I think is pretty hype that we're doing, where you clear out an area, you get to name it. Now that's going to have impact later on, where once the map gets a little bit more explored, then maybe pieces that were put into motion during the exploration phase to gamify it kind of come into action. So like, let's say, I'm pulling this out of my ass, let's say like you clear out an abandoned mine of, I don't know, like cultists or something, and then a few of them like get away, and then they like coagulate, and then it's months down the line, and then all of a sudden the cultists like come and then try to take the mine back or something like that. Like that would be quote unquote phase 2, which would be sick. And then slight spoilers, ever so slight spoilers, but then phase 3 in Stellaris is like once you've kind of dealt with the political situation, then an apocalyptic threat comes, and then when we finish that, we go into season 2, and that's best case scenario. But ultimately, whatever happens, happens. And I think ultimately that's the goal of just, it's almost like, this is so fucking cringe. It's a social experiment, bro. Just to see like what would happen. That's a very long-winded answer to Swing Ripper, who is no longer in here.
Well, that's a good answer. So, and I'm going to kind of conduct this like an interview since this is your baby.
Uh-huh.
So you mentioned seasons, right? So are we looking at like, we play for 3, 4, 5 months until the game kind of comes to a natural conclusion. We have a cataclysmic event hit, and then from there we pick up with season 2 with like the map has been changed because of this event, and then we move on, and then we have a season 3 later on, and we kind of keep going through cycles.
That's best case scenario.
That's
the dream. Will there be dwagons? I mean, I'm not opposed to dwagons. I think every single game of anything fantasy I've ever done has always included dwagons. Stellaris is overwhelming, but dude, it's so much fun. It's such a trip. I haven't finished a game yet. I always like die out like in the middle phase, so I haven't gotten to the apocalypse yet, but I love Paradox games. I just finished my first EU4 playthrough. Anyways, what kind of armor sets can we expect from season 1 and season 2? So we're probably gonna be looking at like tier 2 pally armor from World of Warcraft. Dude, that tier 2 pally armor with the shoulders that had the daggers on it, so sick.
No, sorry, tier 1, baby. School.
Was that tier 1?
No. I like tier 1 armor. I know what you're talking about.
Guy.
I'm a tier 1.
It totally is hard to learn now, 100%.
Yeah. So let's see what else we got in here.
I'm thinking the Kakashi skin would probably debut like season 3. That's a Fortnite reference.
But yeah. So the plan, the plan is we're definitely gonna have dragons. What was that, Rice?
I was gonna ask a stupid question. Ignore me.
Oh, please ask a stupid question.
I was gonna ask, will we have a skin of the Queen being released in her honor?
So midway through season 1, we're gonna drop every decade of the Queen skin.
Oh, very cool, very lit.
Nice.
Indeed.
Very nice.
Dreadnought for life, indeed.
So we're looking at different seasons. That's a really cool concept. Keeps the game fresh every so often, kind of as we get the map explored. About the map, right? Let's talk about that. You I know we've kind of discussed it a little. Are we talking like a big hex map where the players can go out and explore and find things, right?
So I'm thinking hex map, kind of hex crawly. Another thing about seasons that I just want to add in real quick is I think an issue with servers like these, and one of the reasons why the idea of the season came into my head, I sound like fucking Steve Jobs. I'm a genius. No one has ever done this before. This is my turtleneck. Anyways, I don't mean to come across that way. But like what made me think of Seasons is like there was this Pathfinder 2E Discord server that I joined like 3 years ago. Not Ronald's. Ronald's a homie. But it was one of these where it was sort of like a West Marches kind of game, but it had been going on for like 4 years or something like. Maybe it wasn't Pathfinder 2, but you get the idea. It had been going on for a long time. So me as a new player, I felt kind of left out. I think in having Seasons where it comes to that natural conclusion, it enables like a fresh start for new people to not feel like, they're missing out or whatever. Will there be a nice big plot sum or something for people that play their first Contentia game mid-season? What do you mean by plot summary? So I think it was Matt Colville that said, I really like the idea of like, so adventure reports are very big for this server. So I like the idea of kind of finding the narrative from all of these player perspectives, and that there's not one grand plot, but like a bunch of people interpreting a series of events, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Andrew Rice?
Yep, it does. So
absolutely.
So I'm gonna throw my 2 cents in here. So there is going to be an overarching plot. We have a general story for season 1 and a general idea of where season 1 will end that could lead into a very easy story for season 2. So that is planned out. Coming in mid-season is probably not going to be a problem. Players will be encouraged to write player summaries of stuff that happens. The 3 of us as DMs, as we add more DM, or we're going to have our note, and that should not be something that we can easily throw up and say, this is big major events that have happened. Because the goal, if I'm correct, Austin and Rice, is we're going to be kind of convening maybe every few weeks, sharing notes, and then moving the world story forward a couple of weeks, right? So
correct. So another way of looking at it, and I'm stealing this from Dungeon Masterpiece, who is goated. I want him to notice me. His channel's amazing. You should check it out. So
notice me.
Yeah, notice me, senpai. He did a video on the West Marches, and he said that ideally the way that the overall plot structure will work would be like Supernatural or like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where you kind of have like a monster of the week sort of thing, like adventure of the week, but there's still that overarching plot that's happening kind of in the background, if that makes sense.
Cool.
In terms of Olympus 1221, so
it's Chucky. Don't call him Olympus. His name's Chucky. It's my brother-in-law.
Okay, Olympus 1221. I'm just kidding. So Brother of Mika, the map size we're gonna determine it like right now. Well, in like 15 minutes. So that's what this stream is for. We're gonna be building out the general geography of the world as well as seeding the first few locations. So yeah, that'll be determined right now.
Yep. And Morisol, so the way it's gonna work. We've had a couple of ideas. There was a consideration for compartmentalizing the world, but we thought about that, and it kind of defeats the feel that Austin is going for. He wants a world that's just a world, right? It's like, this isn't Andrew's land, this is Rice's land, and this is Austin's land. So the way I think we're going to do it, if I'm correct, Austin and Rice, is it's actually going to be on a hex-by-hex basis. So if I run a dungeon in that, an adventure in that hex, be it an above ground, a dungeon, or whatever, I will declare what's in that hex, and then we will get with Austin, and Austin will be like, all right, that hex is an iron mine, right?
Yep.
And then knowing that, the next hex beyond that, Rice can then go, well, maybe next to that iron mine is a den of rust monsters, right? And that's what the rust monsters were feeding on. And now that we've cleared out that mine and we've set up a mine there, now the rust monsters attack. And so each hex is going to be like an adventure. Right, it's going to have one point we're going to do stuff in. So,
and obviously not every hex has to have a point of interest. Like some might be just like a forest that you pass through or whatever. And then what I was thinking for just regulations purposes is that, and just thinking a little bit longer term as we bring on more DMs, is that every DM will be able to seed maybe 1 or 2 locations per adventure that they run. So to use Andrew's example, let's say Rice does the whole Rust Canyon. He could also seed the Haunted Manor that's, in like another hex. And then when Andrew does the Iron Mine, he could see the Forbidden Forest or whatever. Because the idea is to go back to DM Jesus, aka Matt Colville's OG West Marches video. Like, ideally, players will look at the map and be like, Rust Canyon, that sounds dope. Who wants to adventure there? And then we make it happen that way.
Yep.
Rather than, pulling out the DM dick and being like, I've got this adventure, who wants to run it? Which is perfectly acceptable.
Yeah.
Like, that's totally fine. But just the more interactivity, the better.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I just thought of something. What we probably need to do is when somebody posts something up, right? So when I post up Iron Mine, I probably need to put my name in parentheses so that they know whose adventure they're looking for. And when Rice posts the Canyon of Rust Monsters, he posts his name on it so that they know who they're looking for in that.
By the way, these examples aren't canon, but at this point, they might as well be canon. We've used them as examples so much, we might as well.
They're great ideas.
Yeah. And then, so in this stream, what I wanted to do is every single person who's attending this stream, you get one location that you get to see. Whatever you can think of, we'll drop it in somewhere in the world map.
Yep. So drop it in chat.
When we start building out the world map.
Yeah, when we start building out the world.
Which we'll do in 11 minutes.
And then, so another thing I wanted to ask you, which of course I just forgot as I was going to say that. All right, skip me for the moment. Let's see.
Well, if I can go back,
please.
One thing I was going to ask is for the big moments when we move for the storyline, how are you kind of imagining this might play out? Is it going to be like a big boss raid to steal from like World of Warcraft?
I love stealing from World of Warcraft. I love World of Warcraft.
Or will, just some, will people necessarily be left out by the limitations of our ability to run, based on table size, for example?
That's a really interesting question that I don't know the answer to.
I'm sorry.
No, you're totally fine. You're totally fine. That's part of the reason. I mean, that's one of the things of having this discourse. Like, I've been very open on the Discord because, like, I don't know all the answers, certainly. I don't know shit about fuck, to quote Ozark. So we're all kind of, and I think that's another, like, kind of cool aspect of the server is we all kind of discover how to do this together.
You know what? And you know what? Season 1 may absolutely suck, but you know what? We'll make Season 2 better with everything we learn in Season 1.
Mosreal, you are correct in answering Dapper Loser, who I totally forgot who you are in the Discord, because I have the attention span of a squirrel. But yeah, we do encourage inter-party RP. Ideally, so there's currently 26 people in the Discord. Wait, if you factor out the bots, there's like 24 people in the Discord server. In an ideal world, I know this is just huffing on the, dreamland pipeweed. But like everyone will play with each other, so there won't necessarily be rigid parties. To answer Dapper Loser's question of if multiple parties get into hexes really close to each other, Ziggy in the Discord. Okay, Ziggy in the Discord sounds like a great like late 80s era like rapper name or like hip hop group. Ziggy in the Discord. Anyway, sorry. So yes, King Eric the Greatest is a bot. So if multiple parties get into hexes really close to each other, I don't know if we'll be having games running simultaneously. Like, maybe it does happen. If that does happen, I don't know. What do you guys think should happen in that situation?
So I agree with you. I mean, the purpose of us starting the game with 3 DMs is so that games can happen periodically, right? Most people game probably 1 day a week. Right? If you're lucky, you have a game that happens once a week. Some people do bi-weekly games. I'm lucky enough. I have a weekly game I run on Tuesday, and then my friend Paul, who's in my Tuesday game, has picked up running a Wednesday game so that I could get some playtime, right? Because I've been DMing since 1988, and I don't get to game that often. So the purpose of having 3 DMs initially is so that, like, I'm like, you know what? Thursdays are good for me, right? Or Mondays are good for me, and that's the night I'm going to run. And then, Austin's like, well, I'm going to run on Saturday nights, right? Because that's the night I'm not working. And then Rice is like, well, I got Sunday mornings. And then, maybe there's 1 week, like I take vacation for my job, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Shut up, John. I'm allowed to call my cousin. I can tell my cousin to shut up. Who is, by the way,
to shut up.
Who is, by the way, 2 years older than me. So, and we started gaming at the same time. But yeah, so, we designed 3DM so that we can have games happening periodically throughout the week to try and catch as many people as we can. As for those interacting, we are going to have like a mail system where mail can be delivered between players. So that, but I mean, it would be very hard to say on Wednesday I ran a game because my Wednesday game canceled. On Wednesday I ran a game and people were in Hex 7, and Rice is running a game on Friday and his players are in Hex 8. How are they going to interact? Now, if Rice and I are running on the same night and I'm like, hey, are your players in 8? And he's like, yeah, are your players in 7? We could obviously coordinate that and see what happens, right? Let you guys interact. But the big thing is that once those 2 adventures are done and come home, you're not locked into my game. That was one adventure that you did with me as the table. So the next day when Rice runs his, if he has an opening, boom, you're like, can I jump in yours too? Yeah, you can. So
great way of explaining it. Yeah. So like, just to further boost that example, like if Mosreal, explores the iron mines with Andrew on Wednesday, and then Rice is like, yeah, I can run a game on Thursday, and then Mosreal's like, fuck yeah, I wanna, like, let's go. What are we doing? Rust Canyon? Here for it. 1v1 me, bro. Then that is 100% doable and encouraged. And hello to you, Blaze Trail. And then of course, we're starting with 3. Obviously, we're going like in the future we're going to expand to more DMs. Just people who like the reason why it's not open DM to start with is like I don't want some random person just coming in who like doesn't give a shit and just fucking things up, basically. Not saying that would happen, but just a word of caution, basically. So keeping it at 3, and then we are going to be expanding. And then if you want to DM in the future, the more that you contribute to the server, like, I feel like kind of shitty saying this, but the more you contribute to the server, like the higher, priority you may have, if that makes sense, in the consideration. Like if you show that you actually care, like we want people to DM who actually care about the server, who care about the fictitious world, if you will, and developing this social experiment. Which is another thing. So we were talking about, like, one of the first things that we ever spoke about when we were conceiving of this is how important adventure write-ups are. So like if you want your session to have an impact on the greater world, an adventure write-up needs to come from that adventure. Only one person has to write it. And then if they do write it, they get credit. And then, that can contribute to, like, maybe they get an outpost like later down the line or something like that. It opens them up to that because clearly they care enough about the server and the game for that. I was thinking, because we were having a conversation, I forget in which channel, but we were having a conversation. Not everybody likes to write, and so it was with the rewarding XP, right? We didn't want to reward XP for write-ups because not everyone likes to write, and I don't want anyone to feel like they're falling behind just because they don't like to write. And just because you don't like to write doesn't mean you don't give a shit about the server and give a shit about the game. So, like, I literally thought of this like 6 hours ago. If you are super into it and, like, let's say you want to design like a coat of arms for the starting town, I would count that personally at the same level, if you will,
100%.
of an adventure write-up. If you do artwork for the server, for the game, like, fuck yeah, dude, that counts 100%. As quote-unquote server currency.
Yep.
Write-ups, artwork, like, if you're a musician and you create a song, like, I don't know, just contributions to the greater ecosystem, if you will. So what were the numbers that we were thinking of, Andrew and Rice, for stuff? We had rewards available for that.
I don't remember the exact numbers. I do remember basically, obviously if you do some type of write-up for the adventure, you get naming rights. So you find that iron mine in my game, you get to name it. Obviously we're going to have some filters, right? So you can't name it, Iron McBooby Case or something.
Yeah.
You will get to name it, and you could be named after your character as the discoverer, and then that goes on the map. Like, that goes on the big map. I love the idea. I had not totally thought about that. Coat of arms.
If you do artwork of your adventure, like, dude, yes. If you do artwork and someone does an adventure write-up, I'm sorry, the person who did the adventure write-up. I think the person who does the artwork gets priority for naming stuff.
But yeah, like if you want to do some backdrops and stuff like that. But no, we have it set up where, like Austin said, the more you contribute, that's what we're looking for to add new DMs. Now, keep in mind, not saying that if you contribute, we're gonna try and make you a DM. Absolutely not. First off, you have to want a DM.
Yep.
You know, you gotta. But if you're contributing to the server, making the game better, doing artwork, doing songs, doing coat of arms, doing stuff like that, that's what we're going to look at. And we are kind of working out a tier system where it's going to be beneficial for you. How that's going to work out, we don't know. But
even as a player, like one of my dreams is incorporating DM Jesus's strongholds and followers. So like if you want to have like a castle, like if you come into the server, you don't contribute at all, like, bro, you're not getting a castle. But if you come into the server, you make those contributions, adventure write-ups, coat of arms, whatever, like, after a certain number, then, yeah, dude, well, you can work towards having your own castle in the countryside, as an example.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, total train jump, something I just thought of, right? So, we are kind of basing this as a new unexplored continent, right? So the assumption would be that there would be no active cities other than the ones that the players arrive at, right?
100%.
Okay. Now, obviously, there may be like, a city of, some monster or something. But basically, they're not going to find a human settlement. So that's a big thing for you guys to remember when you're playing this game. You are literally walking out into the wilderness. This is like the gold rush. And there's nothing out there but danger. And so you guys, as you guys go out, there could be ruins. There may be ruins of an ancient civilization. There could be dungeons, but you guys are out here on your own.
So, to your point, Blazer Trail, if you develop more in-depth history, sure, why not? It kind of depends on what the history is, but I think if it contributes to the overall, like if you want to write like an article about like the old world, for example, and just go ham on lore, sure, why not? I don't see any reason not to.
Are we going to reveal tonight why players are coming to this new land?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to just rip the Band-Aid off?
I'll do it if you want me to. I love it.
Yeah, go for it. This was this was all. Here's the thing. So my imagination fucking sucks. My imagination fucking died. I blame The Witcher 3 because it was so good. Everything is trash in comparison. So Andrew thought of this. John, to answer your question, history/lore for people or locations, would that count? Absolutely. Probably for the old world because so the ultimate premise, which Andrew's about to get into, is you guys are coming from the old world and coming to the new world, if you will, and discovering stuff. But yeah, if you think of lore stuff like that, 100%, I would count that personally. Technically it's my server, but I don't want to be a fucking dictator here. So if you guys
it could even be like developments of like elf culture or something like that.
Totally.
If they wanted to do stuff in that nature.
Rice is 100% correct. So what you would do is obviously you don't want to just like write blind, right? But you would reach out and be like, hey, Austin, I want to do an elf write-up. Give me your elf knowledge, right? And then you could expand that elf write-up, right? And then you could be like, maybe you're a decent writer and you're a good artist. So you draw some of the original elven cities that have been lost and you do a write-up on the elven lore. Well, there you go. Look at that. 2 for 1 and stuff that you enjoy.
Yeah, 100%. These ideally Discord. We have Discord channels for adventure write-ups specifically. You'll make your own thread for that, and then you can post them there. And then artwork and stuff, we'll probably just make another channel for that. Kind of concerning to see a DM whose imagination died. Dang it, Witcher. So okay, here's the thing. I feel like my imagination's solid. It's just much more grounded in reality, where I'm not thinking of crazy shit like the crazy shit that Andrew thought of some crazy shit, bro. Like to me, like my imagination is just a Holy Roman Empire ripoff, or postulating how World War I would work between elves and dwarves with magic or whatever. But anyways, you were thinking more smaller details like how the town council of this particular town, how elven council. Sure. 100% here for it. Love it.
Everything you make up is less stuff that we have to make up on the fly.
And you're going to be more attached to it because you made it up. And, you know, like I said at the very beginning, I don't think you were here at the very beginning of Blazer Trail, but ultimately, like, the more people that put their stamp on this collective project, like, the better, I think, to just make a collective thing. I think it's really cool.
Yep.
All right, you can tell them what they're doing here.
All right. So the short story, because we only have 2 hours, and anybody who knows me, the few people on here know me, know I like to talk. So the short version is that the primordials, the very lifeblood of the universe, the very everything, the cores of existence, have descended upon our homeland and are just absolutely destroying it. Imagine World War II. Just this horrible war happening across the continent, and the primordials are just advancing at this slow, methodical pace because they're immortal and we can barely stop them. And they don't care. They know in the end they're going to win, and there's no big hurry for them to finish this fast. There is a prophet, and she begins to have visions, and she starts seeing the names of people. Now, at this point in the war, there are no countries anymore. There is no elven lands. There is no dwarven lands. The mortals have come together in an attempt to survive this unending onslaught, this unstoppable onslaught. And these people are, they're just trying to survive. So nobody really looks at race anymore because we're beyond that. We're at an extinction level event. Mm-hmm. And this prophetess begins to pull names from the ether. And she basically tells the remaining leaders that these people can stop the onslaught, but not here on this continent. And they're like, what are you talking about? There's no other continent. And she's like, no, there is one. You put them on boats and you send them over there, and this can be stopped, but only by them going over there. And so she's plucking these names out of the ether, and your name is plucked, and you are put on a boat, and you are sent across the ocean. And you arrive at a small port town in a completely unknown continent. Nobody knew this continent was here. And you are the last hope for the mortals on the planet. And that's why you're here. To figure out what destiny holds and what can stop these primordials from destroying all of the mortal races.
All right, I was about to give you a countdown broadcast style, but that was a great 2-minute summary.
So
there you go. There's the lore for you. How interconnected will the individual campaigns be? Is there an overall villain or something like that? So Blazer Trail, the idea is it's kind of. Have you seen Supernatural or I haven't seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I did see Supernatural though. But have you seen like shows like that where they have like every season there is this overall story that kind of happens in the background, but it's very Monster of the Week-esque. So, like, there's not really necessarily individual campaigns. It's, like, almost like... I felt like this was a great metaphor. Almost like Skyrim Radiant quests where, like, there's locations on the map that we're about to get into, although I'm going to run to the bathroom before we do that. But there's locations on the map, and you can be like, look, I want to discover I want to go to the Iron Mine, see what's up there. Who else wants to go there? And then, like, Terrakis and John and Musriel, Blazer Trail, they all decide to join you. And then you guys go, you explore it, and then you find some stuff there, and then you come. That would probably contribute to the overall plot. And then you come back. Ultimately, like, anyone could jump in, like Captain Ziggy could jump into that, and it doesn't really matter. It's very like drop in, drop out, but everything contributes to the overall arc that happens. Does that kind of make sense? No, I'm thinking of entirely different characters. I mean, I'm glad that if that's a good thing, that's hype. But yeah, does that answer your question, Blazer Trail? Blazer Trail. And then, by the way, the old world is like totally undefined. So like, if you want to make your mark on the lore, that is the place to do it. You can write about like whatever former kingdom, duchy, principality, confederation, republic your character came from. If it's good, it's canon.
Yep. And that's another thing. Just to kind of touch base on that, Austin. Mm-hmm. When you guys submit these write-ups, there's not necessarily a pass-fail system. Okay, it's going to be like okay, this is cool, but this doesn't fit, right? And so let's say you submit something and I hop on it, right? Because you'll create a thread. You'll be like, this is my proposal. And then I hop in the thread and I read it with you. And maybe you and I hop on Discord and I'm like, okay, well, this doesn't quite fit the lore that we have. Because remember, we know the end of season 1, right? We know how season 1 ends. And we're like, that doesn't quite fit. Come up with something different. And then you go, well, I have this other idea. And we're like, oh, yeah, that fits way better, right? So these are not going to be like pass fail things, right? You're going to have a chance to revamp those. And then once we sign off on it. So now that I think about that, Austin, we probably need to have a submit channel where we put the stuff in. And then we have the factual channel where we actually take the approved stuff and post it, which then also solves our summary problem because people can just read down the adventure paths. Then every couple of weeks, there'll be the big post from, you, Rice, and myself for, time advances 3 weeks or whatever it is. So that actually solves both problems. We have the submission page and then we have the actual lore page.
I like it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. If anyone disagrees in chat, this is democracy. Feel free to chime in your thoughts. And I got to say this, Jimmy Jam has entered the chat. That's one of my coworkers at UCSD.
Nice.
What's up, Jim Jam? Good to have you here. So, James, we're setting up, I don't know if you saw my most recent video, but we've put together a Discord server of basically one giant, I don't know if you know what a West Marches campaign is, but a giant West Marches campaign. Feel free to join in. I know you've only played D&D, not Dungeon World, but it's for the Dungeon World rule system, and it's like one big campaign where your actions have consequences on the overall world. Perhaps the forums thing on Discord would be a cool thing of 100%. That this is why we have this this discussion, because I certainly don't know all the answers. If Andrew has all the answers, he's certainly hiding it, and Rice is the silent killer who probably has all the answers, but he just wants us to make fools of ourselves before he comes in.
My knowledge is my own.
Yes.
Indeed. 6. So I'm gonna go run to the banyo real quick, and indeed I emojis, and then we'll start the world building. Let me throw on some elevator music real quick. Wait, that's not elevator music. There we go. I'll be right back.
I will also be AFK real quick. Be right back.
Did we just get back and put on our headphones at the exact same time?
I think so.
That's hilarious.
So I wanted to say that, and I'm glad you're back because I wanted to say this while you were here. So my suggestion to everybody watching who wants to throw an item in, to be created on the map tonight. Yeah, shut up, Chucky. Throw your item in with your Discord name, right? We'll make a note of it, and then that's what we'll start on the suggestions thread. The person will post the thread will be the name of their location, and then we'll work out a write-up for something for them, so that that'll be a place you get the name for watching the stream tonight.
Indeed.
Chucky.
Yeah, that'll...
So just so y'all know, Chucky's my brother-in-law, Olympus 11221, and he is very good at asking me very detailed questions about my game world that I did not think all the way through when I made an offhand comment. He likes to catch me in those little conundrums.
Okay, so this is not the game world. This is just a random side project that I dicked around with. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little 1-2 buckle my shoe. I don't know how well Incarnate deals with stuff that is uploaded, but I really like Asgar's fantasy map generator because we can get very realistic terrain based on that. So what I was thinking, and feel free to disagree with me, chat, is we'll start in Asgar's to just get the rough makeup. Then we'll export that map, import it into Incarnate, where we can then drop the stuff. Does that sound good to everyone here? I need one bit of validation.
You used words, and those words sounded extremely confident, but I have no clue what you're talking about.
All right, fantastic.
I've used Incarnate once, and I've used this website once.
Incarnate fucks. This website's amazing. There's a great tutorial series on it. If anyone's curious, drop it in the Discord later, and I will link you to it. So we are going to go new map, baby. Don't worry, I saved this in case anyone's concerned. They're like, you're going to lose all your... Oh, my God. This looks like shit. Okay. Let us go to... What style of map are we thinking, everyone? Just to start, not forget the pre-created height maps, but I'm thinking personally Peninsula, maybe Isthmus, or we can just say fuck Asgars and just create something brand new in your maps, or we could go continents or archipelago.
I think we need to do a continent, right? Like something, not exactly that one, but something like in the top right there, how it's just one big massive continent.
Pangea,
think of like Australia.
Peninsula. Sure.
Or
Australia.
a long peninsula. That's fine.
What do the people think? I have a really cool character idea. Looking forward to it.
Good. I'm glad that sparked off your
creativity.
Your creativity.
I'm just curious for this. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll say a little hint to everybody. In my personal game world, I keep genealogy. Like I have one player who's literally played a character. He's played that character's daughter, that character's granddaughter, and that character's great-granddaughter. So, season 2 might be forward enough in the game that you could play your own character's kid.
No confirmation on that. We don't actually know if that's the case, but that would be fucking sick.
Yeah, but something... It doesn't look like anybody has an opinion on what the map should look like.
Cool.
I just want it to be huge. That way, let's say we get on a roll, and we're pushing a bunch of game sessions. Let's say best case scenario, each of us run one game session a week. That's 3 hexes a week that are revealed, maybe more.
Here for it. So
I like Blazer Trail, a continent with some smaller islands off the coast. I'll pick that.
Gotta have space for piracy. Gotta have space for pirates.
100%. Blazer Trail, do pass go, do collect $200. I'm just gonna go Incarnate because my original idea fucking sucked ass. So big continent. Sorry, I have to fucking minimize to see chat. That's the map right there. Sneeze on a napkin. That will make your map. That's genius. That's genius. Continent with a few smaller islands off the coast could be cool. Yeah, let's go with that. So I am just going to draw something. You guys tell me if this looks cool or not. Okay, I'm just going to... Let me just...
Let's see what you got, sir.
We'll refine the general shape later. All right, now let's subtract some things. I feel so powerful. Scoot, 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 scoot. Do the sound effects help, or are they just annoying?
They're hilarious.
All right, that's what I'm here for.
I do a lot of sound effects in my gaming, and my wife is always like, "Oh, sound effects free of charge."
Dude, so whenever I'm directing, I direct live TV, no big fucking deal. I'm just fucking amazing. I'm totally kidding, by the way. I mean, I actually do that, but not the I'm totally amazing. Whenever a goal is about to get scored, I just go full Donnie. Anyway, what were you saying?
Can you undo? Well, you're way far into it. Can you make a circle island, right, and then just put a hole in the middle of it like a donut?
Yes, I can do that.
Or or even better, if you want to do somewhere on the mainland,
Okay.
do a circle of water,
Okay.
with a circle in the middle and then a circle in the middle of that.
Okay.
It's all
So
circles all the way down.
right. So the trick is when you're trying to design a map, and I've probably designed a dozen game worlds,
Mm-hmm.
is when you put cool features on it, even if you don't know what they do, later they can do something.
That's true.
Yeah, something like that.
I like
Right?
it.
Maybe
here
not
for
that big. I don't know how big the overall map is.
I don't know how big the overall map is either. That's part of the fun. Let's bring on the hex map.
But this is where like when my current game map was being drawn, my friend Tom was drawing it for me as a birthday present. And he's like, "What do you want on it?" And I started giving him things, and he's like, "Well, can I just add some random stuff?" I was like, "Sure, whatever you add will come up later." Well, he put this. There's a spot on my map. It's called the Sea of Glass. It is literally a sheet of glass that is like 8 miles wide.
That's sick.
And when the players finally got there, they were like, why did we come here?" I was like, "Tom drew it. I didn't know what was here until after Tom drew this map." And they were very unhappy with what they found there.
So not to be a poopy noopers, but it sounds like he kind of stole that from the Black Company because there is a Sea of Glass in the Black Company. I may be exposing his genius. How do we feel about the hex? So I'm thinking each hex is like 1 day's worth of travel. Does this look like an appropriate scale to you?
Well, let's see. So we're gonna. Yeah, I mean that looks like a lot of hexes for us to explore.
That is a lot of hexes too. Okay. That's the map.
Now I think the city should be on that little island, to the northeast. And then I could just imagine like a ferry across. They didn't want to build on the mainland for safety.
Ooh, juicy.
Right.
Okay.
And so then they have a little ferry that goes across, which can cause drama. Bad storm. You can't get back across to the town because the ferry's down.
Here for it. Bryce, any opinions?
I was gonna say hex size wise. In my game, I've used 24-mile hex. 1 day travel.
Yep.
And I don't like using that. I wish I had gone with a smaller scale because when a player is in the middle of that hex, it's impossible for them to see the full distance of the hex. So it then is difficult to describe. Well, then I got to figure out where you are in the hex in addition to what hex you're on.
Good point.
That is a good point.
So like 8 or 6 miles, I think is better because that's about if you have clear vision, you can see about 3 miles in any direction, or
I like
maybe
it.
Yeah,
perfect.
I like it. So make the hexes 3 times smaller than what they were.
Okay.
And every day of travel will be 3 hexes.
Okay, I like it.
It also gives the players the feeling they're actually moving across the map
100%.
some distance rather than the.
So this feels like an appropriate scale to me because that would make like you could travel across this island in 3 days, like this island where the town is. That makes sense, right? Am I tripping?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I can't zoom in on it to see. So.
The very middle of that set of circle does sound 100%. So I think.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, and you know what? Let's just get some audience participation here. Sorry, I'm burping because I had a beer. But
Dapper, that is some prime real estate. The center of that little ring of islands. If somebody did a bunch of really good write-ups, they might get access to that prime real estate.
Some might say it's free real estate. Just kidding. It's not free real estate. I just thought of that meme. All right, let's just pick a random icon that looks good. Plain human icons. Okay, so this is big, everyone. This is our town right here. Now, this might be the biggest decision that's made in the history of this. And everyone who's here today, all 9 of you, you get to decide what is the town's name.
That's where the dragon lives.
100% where the wagon lives. We're going to start all vote. Wait, where's the Jeopardy song? All right. That's way too long. 30 seconds might not be enough time, but...
Yeah, Austin, our the YouTube to us is about like 20 seconds behind us live.
Yes.
Thank you for letting me
Yeah.
know the time skip. Last chance. I like it.
Oh, very cool.
That is very cool.
Hope.
Hope. Wait, did someone suggest Hope?
I
Helm's
suggested
Hope. You suggested it.
Helm's Hope.
Helm's Hope.
Last Hope. Let's take Quasi.
The
Last
town's
Hope.
name's starting point. Okay.
FYI, Chucky fancies himself a comedian.
Ravensloft, Goldshire. Goldshire? What? Let's just
Right?
call it Duratar. Okay, we'll put it to a vote. I personally am a big fan of Last Chance, but this is democracy. So we've got Last Chance, Helm's Hope, Starting Point. Ziggy, I'm sorry, but I don't really like any of those. Unless someone wants to. Andrew,
Nah, I'm good. I'm good with Last Chance.
I will let
I like
chat.
Last Chance.
Oh,
Chat-
wait.
Let the people decide.
My cousin has suggested, because we're all DMs and we're plotting. It'll be Sussville.
Sussville. Sussville will be the random village that is in one of these other hexes. Or Suss Mountain will be the mountain that's in the middle of that little
Suss Mountain.
target sign. Last Chance is fire. I agree, Ian
I
Fay.
agree. Let's do it. Last chance.
All right, Carsey, congratulations. You get some contribution points. That's hype. That's sick. I'm a fan. Okay. So, we've got that. Now, typically when I create a map, I don't even do the town name first, but it felt important. I like to do like mountain ranges. And I probably should have thought this order out in my head first, but I was excited and busy. So, how do you guys feel about maybe putting up some mountains next?
Yeah.
Cool. I like mountains. Mountains are cool. Big mountain guy. Where do you guys think the mountains should go?
Well, first off, let's determine, is this continent on the north or south equator?
I'm kind of a slut for south of the equator lately because I've been like really into South America. If you've seen my Food Network parody video, but I'm okay with being vanilla.
It was subtle. I almost missed it.
Rice, what do you think?
I've just been rewatching The Hobbit recently, and I'm really into the Lonely Mountain at this moment.
So maybe like a mountain range that starts at the top center, like a big, big mountain, the Lonely Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And then skip about like 9 hexes,
Okay.
right? So it'd be about 3 days of travel, and then run a mountain range from it. So again, that's not how mountains normally work, but we're trying to build stories. We're trying to make interesting places that players want to go. So you have this big mountain, and then for 3 days of travel, there's nothing connecting this mountain range. That seems really weird. What happened?
So this is my immediate thought. Feel free to call me a fucking loser. What do you
Go
guys
about
think?
Yeah, go about 9 hexes.
Yeah, not a little 9 hex gap from the Lonely Mountain there, and then I like the idea of partitioning off. Like it almost creates, and we're just revealing the hand a little bit. Well, not really, but like it almost makes everything west of this mountain like end game content, and then it creates a geographic, like reasonable
Borders.
barrier sort of thing. You know what I mean?
I like it.
Let's see
I like
the
it.
opinions. Maybe a mountain range going east-west towards the southern side of the continent in the area that can be significantly different culturally. Do a nice Peru-style coastal range. Carsey, I feel like this is a nice Peru-style coastal range just flipped. Blazer Trail, you fucking got it, pal, because I'm all about, giving the people what they want. What about this? A little bit of this action, a little S-curve. A little bit
like
of
it.
this. What do you think? We can add on more detail in a minute, but I'm not going to do anything until Blazer Trail gives me either their validation or their disapproval. I can wait all day.
Actually, leave a little break on that west side.
Okay.
like you left a little break to get into that one area.
Mm-hmm.
Leave a little break on each of those sides,
Yes.
so it feels like, you know,
There's like a pass.
yeah, like that's the easiest way to get through. It's not easy, but it's easier
Here for it.
than hiking up the mountains.
Oh, dude, I totally just had an idea. And then it's not going to be as remote as the northern Lonely Mountain, but like maybe just a random mountain there. Because why not? And
A
then,
sister mountain.
Indeed, a sister
Oh,
mountain.
that's a great story. The mountains used to be adjacent and touch, and then somehow they got split.
Oh, that's
So
hype.
there's like some of the local like monster tribes have a story of how the mountains got mad at each other and they're lovers, and now they're separated.
Let's write that down.
And there's a secret tunnel connecting them.
Also
Secret
write that down.
tunnel.
Will there actually be a west coast of this continent? So here's the thing, John. How about season 2? Question
Yep.
mark. Not sure about that X for the mountains. Okay. All right. Ziggy says no, and Ziggy is precious. We must defend Ziggy with our lives at all cost, because Ziggy has never played an RPG before, and this is their first RPG experience.
So Ziggy, what if instead of that cross, what if we took the bottom southern part of that mountain and flared it out wide?
I will not do another thing until Ziggy tells me what they want. Ziggy, you are the captain now.
While we wait on him to respond, I guess how realistic are we going with geographical geological aspects of the world? Like, would this create an inland desert or something because all the water from the coast is being blocked?
So I'm a slut for realistic in geography. However, that kills the vibe. So if you, I don't really care. Can we have a really tall mountain that pierces the heavens for the dramatic moment when some cleric needs to meet their god for Seotone? Swing Ripper, how do we know that the Lonely Mountain in the north and its ex-lover aren't really tall mountains? Did you ever think of that? Some of the mountains have secret. Oh, okay, Chucky. Okay, Chucky Finster. Let's go. That's a Rugrats reference for all of y'all. I like the Mountain Valley's hype. Like, especially, like, what if... This is slight spoilers, but whatever. You guys are here ground level. It's like a Kickstarter, except we're not taking your money. Like a little safe haven here. Like where the mountains meet. Right, that's kind of cool, I think. Is that cool? Someone tell me that's cool, or if it's not cool.
Where did you put it? You had the thing up.
Sorry. So we delete... I forgot there's a delay. So I deleted some of the mountains here, like where they all meet. So like, what if there's like a hidden valley there?
Well, yeah, like with dinosaurs in it. Like let's do the classic hidden valley.
All right, so
Yeah.
we're gonna call this hidden valley. I totally thought of this. No one's ever thought of this ever before. Ungoro Crater. What do you think of that name? I'm just kidding. It's a WoW reference for all of y'all. Okay, no, I like it. That's good stuff.
Yeah, like the crater.
Yep, big fan.
So Blazer, I think we're gonna go with. We're gonna try and aim for realistic topography. We want it to kind of feel real, but at the same time, we want to add fantasy elements in because we all live in the real world, and nobody really wants to game in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
So,
although I do like the suggestion of realistic geography that's been messed with ancient civilizations or gods or whatever. I think that's money. I think that's a great way to kind of combine both of those concepts, if you will.
Yeah, I'm already writing stories about the Lover Mountains.
Dude, that's such a great detail. That will be the only place to get the mythical tree stars. I feel like that's a reference to something, but there has to be dinosaurs there.
Oh, of course.
100%.
I mean, you cannot have a lost valley without dinosaurs in it. Like there's laws.
It's physically impossible. Okay, so I'm happy with these mountain ranges. Like the inner voice in my head is telling me we could add to it, but this is the player-facing map. So something that DM Jesus, aka Matt Colville, aka our RPG Lord and Savior, has once said is that within West March's campaign, like there's a player-facing map and a DM-facing map, and this is sort of combining them to an extent, but we're gonna have our own little secrets, methinks.
Yeah.
But I think this is something that like anybody, you take one step off of last chance island onto the continent. You're gonna be able to know this.
This is probably something that the prophet drew. She probably drew this
Mm-hmm.
so that we had a basic map when we arrived.
100%. And I think that
and
also includes basic biomes. So before we figure out where the basic biomes are, what biomes do you guys want to play in?
I would say too, an interesting thing might just be that the players can go ahead and name the biomes, because I don't know if can you not put desert on this map?
You can like paint it on there, but there's not like
Just the thought.
no, totally. I don't think there's like a desert. Yeah, there's not.
You just change it to like a sandy color.
You can change the color of it.
I do want a desert.
All right, and it's a desert. Sorry, that was a beer burp because I'm a fucking dude. Maybe some of the outlying islands could be rocky/mountainous, kind of like Iceland or Greenland. Here's the thing, Blazer Trail, because you're here present for this, that is absolutely the case. How about like, did we decide if we're in the northern or southern hemisphere?
Blazer Trail just gave me an idea.
Yeah.
Can we take that other mountain from the southeast and drop it out in the water?
100%.
The Lovers Mountain. Drop it like go east, pretty much just go east and south a little from where it's currently located.
Okay. East, south. Like right there? I know there's like a 20-second delay.
Hold on, yeah, like right there. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Yes. One out in the water. Now it's two completely different biomes to go visit the mountains.
Good stuff. And then I like, so maybe these southern mountains right here, they'll be, or these southern islands are going to be, wait, what were hit their exact, a giant multicolored dungeon, or jungle, sorry. Rocky Mountainous, okay.
I like that. That's going to be the female lover, and that will be her handmaidens, the little islands within the Rocky Mountains.
So we're just going to call these the Rocky Islands for now because I feel like that's a generic name. If someone wants to adventure there and then you clear out, whatever you do the adventure, then you get naming rights. That's what we mean by naming rights. So we got the Rocky Islands.
Also, don't forget, we may be giving you guys names because maybe there's a tribe of lizard men that live on the coast there and they talk about the wife and her handmaidens, and that's what they call it. But you guys are by no means bound to those names. That's 100%. Just us telling you the lore of, that's why we have the Nile.
Feel free to be colonizers.
Well, that's why you have the Nile River. Nile means river, so you have the river.
We can absolutely do some Let's fucking go, dude. That is what I'm talking about. Dodarid. You have a very confusing.
Stop it, Do.
Dota, do you want like a shipwreck or something in that bay? You get naming rights. Ian Fay, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Well, you don't get naming rights, but do you want something in here specifically to explore, or do you want to keep it a secret? Oh fuck. Does anyone
Thank you,
use
Ian.
the mail?
I'm glad you're enjoying the mythology
that we literally just made up on the spot. Yeah, I mean, this has been thought about like weeks ago. What are you talking about?
Yeah, right. Yeah, let's throw down a shipwreck.
That's what I'm thinking.
But obviously it's not from the main continent, right? Some it kind of digs into that little ancient civilization.
100%.
What is it? First people that's, like I said, the goal today is to put cool things on the map that you guys are excited about, so that when this game starts, you're like, I'm heading northeast to the mountain, or I'm heading south to the mountain, or that shipwreck, or, I want to go see the dragon, I want to see the top of that mountain.
I just want to see if there's shipwreck under any of these other.
So Blazer Trail, now that you say that, I think I may have heard of that in Changeling the Dreaming. I think I may have read something about that. Yeah, White Wolf. It's my favorite White Wolf game.
Basically, there's a rock between Scotland and Ireland.
So
is that the Isle of Man?
So Dapper, we're doing basically, if you want to throw out a location, you're throwing out a location, whether it's a lake, a shipwreck, a mountain, uh,
A point of
a carving.
interest that would
Yeah, point of
prompt
interest.
exploration. So the reason why I thought of shipwreck immediately was because Dodo was like, we can do some underwater adventures in the bay near the sister mountain. My mind went to shipwreck, but if you disagree, like that's totally fine. This is a democracy for now. No, I'm just kidding. It will always be a democracy. This is for the people by the people. So just if you think of like interesting areas. And so we're gonna seed this just to give a rough idea of a schedule for like maybe until 6:30, and then we'll build the starting town together.
So if you don't want to do a shipwreck for the coastal underground, what about like a massive stone archway that sits right on the beach and that the water never comes up to? And as you walk through that, you see stairs that lead down underwater, and it leads you down like a ton, like those underwater tunnels that you see at like aquariums. It leads you down into one of those into like again some ancient ruins underneath the ocean.
That's money. I'm waiting till the people speak.
So we gotta throw some desert down,
100%.
throw some jungle down. I think we need to hit all the major biomes.
I'm a big sucker for deserts too. I like the idea of this northern bit being the desert.
I'm fine with that. And then we can make the southern some tundra. Maybe we're like South America, and we're pushing the Antarctic.
Okay. So we'll have desert roughly here-ish. And then was that Ziggy that wanted jungle, underwater bubble area? Ooh, that's a good idea. Multicolored jungle. I think jungle's definitely going to be here in the valley. I like the idea of just this little area is jungle.
And that puts the other mountain in the exact opposite biome of the ocean.
100%. That's sick. This is a personal. This is me being a ferocious Benito Mussolini, little Francisco Franco here. Boom, little Arctic action down there, or I guess Antarctic, whatever.
Dapper, that's a really cool temple idea.
Let me see.
The Temple of Kaka.
Random temple idea: a city of bird people, Arakoa, carried by eagles.
Oh yes, ancient bridge.
Tengu.
Ancient bridge in disrepair.
No, right. Both of these are great ideas. Random temple idea: city of bird people. I'm just reading this out loud. Sorry. Fuck me, dude. That is awesome. Okay. All right. I see what we're doing here. Let's go. Temple. You just know, like, literally the second this stream ends, they're gonna be like, Ziggy's gonna be like, let's go to the temple right fucking now, dude. All right, Ziggy, you get dibs on where you want this temple to be dropped.
And then and Ziggy, I don't know how you're picturing it, because again, once you put an idea in my head, I start going everywhere with it. So I picture this temple not like a normal temple because they're bird people. I picture it like in the side of a cliff face, where like how birds have their nests, like the seagulls that nest on the cliff faces, right? And then you have people like some like bird like Arakakra living in it, and that's kind of like their holy ground, and then I can imagine like the first time you come up, you just see like 70, 80, 90, 100 Arakakra dive out of these windows and then spread their wings and start circling the party.
Carsey, we're gonna do the ancient bridge after dope ass bird temple. A river valley somewhere could be cool. Maybe there used to be a civilization there, but it was overrun. Somewhere around the coast, but this dude's cliff idea sounds great.
I'm glad you approve.
You know what? I'm just feeling fucking crazy right now. ¿Por qué no los dos?
Hey, what if we compared that with the mountainous islands, and the two islands where the faces face each other? Mm-hmm. That's where the bird people is, and that's where the temple is. Just think of how much living space you would have on those.
Right. So you want that on the islands?
I mean, that's up to that was Ziggy's idea, right?
It was Ziggy's idea. Somewhere
Yeah, that's
around
up
the
to
coast, but the cliff idea sounds great. I personally think the best marriage of that is going to be somewhere on the Rocky Islands. Maybe the island just north of what is listed as the Rocky Islands is our thing. Sheer-faced mountains with cities next to the mountains with home carved into the sides of mountains. Okay, Chuckles. Chuckles the clown.
That's actually his nickname.
Chuckles.
Yes.
Love that. That's hilarious. I'm curious. Dude, fuck. Parchment World sucks ass. I chose like the worst thing. I mean, it's right for the aesthetic, but like, it is not right for everything else. So I'm gonna put Eagle Temple right here, and we're just gonna call it.
The Temple of Kaka.
Let's just call it Eagle Temple.
I like it.
Just keep it simple, and then when Ziggy inevitably wants to do an
Get
adventure there,
first.
because we all know that's exactly what's gonna happen, they get naming rights. Okay, so let's do Old Bridge.
I think it would be cool if the old bridge made no sense, right? Like there's nothing at the beginning and there's nothing at the end, and you're just like, why would you build a bridge in the middle of nowhere?
Say no more, fam. Rice, you have any ideas? You've been.
I was gonna made me just immediately think desert. That's where I would build a bridge to nowhere.
That's exactly where I was gonna put it.
I like it.
We'll drop like
when I'm in the market to build a bridge to nowhere. I think desert.
Cool.
All right, Ian. So when you're talking about an Academy of Warriors, remember we're going to be the only normal races here. Right. So everything here needs to be some type of monstrous race, unless you're talking about like old ruins. Or if you want to get really fancy, what about like to kind of put a little spin on your idea, an Academy of Golems? And this is where people used to bring their like, a civilization used to bring their golems for training.
Sheer-faced mountains with cities next to the mountains with homes carved into the side of the mountains. I'm thinking old
That's going to be Eagle
Chuckles.
Temple.
That's going to be what?
I thought we were going to use that idea for the people near the Eagle Temple, the bird people.
Oh, you wanted to put the Chucky's idea near the bird people?
Well, I think it should be the bird people. I think it's how the bird people should live.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Okay, for sure. Okay, somewhere on the cove, right, Sheer-faced mountain. Okay, maybe dwarven tribe that went permanently underground Fallout style that could. Sheesh. All right, Blazer Trail, you got the ideas. Okay, idea. An Academy of Warriors based in the. You just said that.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. So, Ian, toss out some ideas. If you have a monstrous race, like the bird people or something like that. But remember, of the normal playable races, human, elf, dwarf, halfling. I don't think Austin and Rice, I don't think we're going to limit people to playing just the base races in the book. We're going to work with them to make orcs and goblins.
Someone asked that previously. If there is like any form of published material on it, I'll allow it. Like, just put it in the character creation chat just to make sure that you're not like, so the thing about playing as a Tengu is that you get +6 on every single one of your rolls. That's the racial ability. Not that anyone would do that, but okay. I like this academy idea, like an abandoned academy.
Question is where? Where's a good place to put it?
That is the question, is it not?
Where we could be total douches and put everybody's cool idea on the far left side of the map.
You'll get there in 6 months.
Right?
Just kidding.
That's a good point, though, that maybe we should prioritize the closer regions for these ideas, just so that not that we can just.
That's what I was thinking. Like, I was thinking we right here for the academy, mayhaps.
Right there, or what if it was in the pass?
Oh, like right here.
I gotta wait for it to catch up.
Oh, right. Blazer Trail, it's your idea. So when it catches up, because we're operating on the delay, you get final say because it was your idea.
Nope, that's Ian's idea. Ian has the Warrior
Ian,
Academy.
I'm so sorry. Put it in the middle of Donut Island. Okay, Chucky, that's a great idea. If Ian doesn't have any strong feelings, maybe the Academy could be in the middle of the sea ring. Ian, I need a great idea from you right here, because we got 2 votes for the middle of the island thing.
Question is Ian still watching? All right, well, Ian's getting on that.
We're going to put it in the middle of the island. Feel
Yeah,
free
we
to
got
disagree.
desert. We got Arctic. Need to throw some. Need to throw down some. I like it in the donut. There we go. In the donut.
All right, we have approval from Ian. Fantastic. Okay. All right. So I'm thinking, just because, and feel free to disagree with me, whoever. Classic like MMO, just safe space is here. So like maybe we could throw in some forest, some plains, like immediately along the coast.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to put something on that island. Everybody does want to put something on that. Unfortunately, there is another donut ring, but yeah, everyone wants to put something on.
So Dapper, that's how you know you created something good. When you put a weird structure and everybody's like, "Can I have the center of that structure? I need to have that structure."
Right. So unless someone disagrees with me, I want this to be like, here's a geography little quiz. This is just my love of South America coming out right there. The Pampas. Which are just plains, I think. And then maybe like down here. And once again, if anyone has strong feelings about this, which please, I want you to have strong feelings about this. Go ahead and disagree. And then like maybe an enchanted forest? Question mark?
What if the ring around the temple is that thick jungle? Because think about it, classic South America, Indiana Jones, through the thick jungle, to get to the...
Say no more, fam. You know what? Theme music is great, but I need this to be more me. So we're gonna go Irv, OST, motherfucker. I typed in the wrong thing.
Jungle all around in there. Can you change the color of the tile to like maybe a dark green?
Yes, I can. Sorry, I just need the vibes.
No, you're fine, man. Rock out.
All right.
I'm weird in that aspect. I don't listen to music, and
that's
people
psychotic.
find that strange. See, people are like, that's weird, dude. I work all day in my office to absolute silence.
I literally, because of my job, so by the way, everyone who's here, I am a professional video editor, and so therefore I can't listen to music. I know these are really like jiving with me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. All right, cool. Do we want... Okay, so once again, I'm going to go to Ian. Since you got dibs, do you want the academy to be within a jungle, or do you want it to be a different biome? And yet he knows the freaking... I do know the freaking... Dude, so I fucking love MapleStory. They're pure human, but have cloud color skin. This is on a 20-second delay, so it's going to be weird, but...
That's a cool... Some weird cloud people. I like it. Nobody knows what the heck they are.
That was great, Squidward. But how do you get inside?
Yeah, it's all crushy looking.
It isn't put up yet, you idiots.
Customization?
Genius!
He's turned
Hey, we got to
around
apologize
around.
again. You're
Of
fine.
course!
Write that down, write that down!
Okay. That's going to come on in 20 seconds, but that's how I feel about your idea, Ian. Write that down. Write that down. No, dude, you're totally fine. Write that down. Write that down. That was genius. And you know what, Ian? You can write the fucking lore on them, and whoever does that adventure has to do your lore. Dapper mentioned a rainbow forest. What about in that is creatures of weird varying colors? Dude, yes.
I like it.
Okay. Maybe the ring was created by someone that's got like.
So Dapper, that forest, do you picture it as like regular rainbow colors, like the Roy G. Biv, or are you talking more like the metallic colors, like iridescent?
Which Pokemon generation of colors are we talking here?
I don't get that reference.
You're such a fucking Gen Xer.
I like it. Okay, so we've got our Arctic, we've got our plains, we've got our desert, we've got the nice, cool jungle in the center.
Mm-hmm. Dude, that jungle idea, just dope. Fantastic. Here for it.
You're like, I love South America. I'm just thinking of the temples that you find
100%.
Down there.
Well, so what I like about South America, so I like don't know shit about South America. I'm just uncultured swine, and just the biodiversity that is there, mostly in the Southern Cone, just blows my fucking mind. South America in general is just a crazy place that I don't know nearly enough about, and I wish I knew more about.
So Dapper, are you talking more like Aurora Borealis colors? Because that sounds
hype.
cool.
That's cool as
Well,
fuck.
He said colors glowing in the night, and that just made me think of Aurora Borealis.
100%, yeah.
And I can just picture a forest that, as you approach it, like instead of the aurora being up in the sky, it starts at treetop level and comes down. Oh, there we go. There's my desert.
I'm imagining the entire forest is just like an illusory, like Aurora Borealis. I mean, maybe it becomes real when it instantiates.
Bryce, I need you to get your fantastic ideas out of this fucking live stream, because that was genius. I'm a big fan of that. That's tight. I'll probably clean this up like when we're not live, but in terms of like, the color and stuff. But
just getting it laid out so we all have this really cool visual.
Indeed.
I do think that the island that we're on, maybe make it a little bit bigger, and we'll make the lands there extremely fertile.
Okay.
And then maybe there just after you catch the ferry ride, there's farms and stuff to feed people.
Cool with me.
Just on the plains.
Cool with me. Let's subtract some shit. Make it more interesting. Oh, that's me.
Oh, very cool, Blazer. Yes. Centaurs based on the Huns that rule the plains.
Blazer, I'm gonna need you to leave because that idea is fucking awesome. Write that down.
Oh, I am.
Just kidding. Please don't leave.
Uh,
Love having you here. Of course there's going to be a Naga race. They're probably going to be like hanging out like on one of these islands, like right here, or maybe down here on the Rocky Islands. I don't know. That's classic Naga. I'm just going to continue painting while all you guys come up with these genius ideas.
Ones we haven't used yet are swamp. We can put that on an island if we want to just throw a swamp in there.
I kind of like the idea of what if like immediately surrounding the donut is swamp.
really soggy land.
The outer or the inner donut?
So outside of the donut, like this area that's outside the donut. I'm like talking and then I'm making movements and it's delayed. But intriguing.
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
Yeah.
But
Very
Rice,
cool.
would you say it's cash money?
Yeah, cash money, big bingo wins.
Big bingo wins. That's a new one. Cool.
So
And
Chucky, if you want the fairy to be a giant sea creature, that sounds like a good thing, a write-up you could do.
I fucking love that idea. Yeah, you write that up, Chucky. Little chuckles.
I like it. This whole area is just soggy and wet.
Just disgusting. Yeah.
So do me a favor, put another row of mountains, make that a double wide mountain range, so it's a really thick mountain range.
Okay.
And then I can just kind of see like as the seasons change, you have all that runoff just runs down and saturates this area.
Who was it that was saying they prefer realistic terrain?
In chat.
Yeah, in chat. Whoever that was. There's your realism right there. That ticks my realism
Blazer.
box. Blazer. There we go. That ticks my realism box for sure. I like that. That's a really good idea. Let's fucking. Oh yeah, dude. That's
rain.
tight.
Rain comes from the west, southwest. Yep.
Yep.
Let's make it really thick there.
There we go. Carsey, if you write out like a freaking climate report on this fantasy world, I'll count that as 2 contributions. Ooh. An underground cavern that used to be a small town by Contentia's ancient civilizations, but got repurposed as a black market. I think I like the idea of having an underground cavern somewhere around here. We're not going to mark it because it's underground. The opportunity is there for the players, aka you, Ziggy, to establish an underground market. But remember, this is a brand new undiscovered continent. But it does open up the possibilities of that, so I do like that.
Hey Ziggy, don't worry. That just gave me an idea because everywhere that there is shortages, there's a black market. And I'm picturing a game I could run where I only sign up thieves, and that's where I'm gonna end that idea.
Only
And you
thieves
guys
allowed.
can figure out where the rest of that story's going.
So before we move on to the town to end out the stream, what do you guys think for the biome for the western part here and the southern part here? If we're being super realistic, this would probably be plains because that's what interiors of continents always are, but I am open to any and all ideas.
What options do we have in there? What symbols do we have?
So I was just gonna write out whatever the biome is, because you'll see we've got the Pampas, desert, enchanted forest, Arctic, whatever. Maybe there could be some sort of anomaly.
Well, I'm saying, what symbols do we have? We have mountains. Do we have any other symbols?
Oh yeah, of course. Blizzard Trail, I love the idea of Naga off the coast. I think that should absolutely be used.
Also, if anyone wants to, put their thing on the map and hasn't done so yet, they need to at least speak up in chat and mention that they're here, but they haven't done it yet, I think.
Mm-hmm. Speak now.
So, Tapper, we do have a little bit of snow to the Arctic to the south, if you look. It's on the southeast. So we got a little bit of snow. So let's do plains, right? Because like you said, that's what makes logical sense.
Sure.
But then, somewhere, like probably 3. So you know how on a hex map you have the center hex and you have all of the adjacent hexes, which comes out to like 7 hexes, I think.
Flood forests, a relative lowland that sees massive flooding seasonally. I like that for down here. I'm not gonna do it just because, so forests in Incarnate just kill your computer for some stupid fucking reason. But let's have that down here. I like that idea of a flood forest.
And
then
drop me a mushroom forest somewhere.
All right, I got you.
By the way, good idea on the flood forest. That's a really that creates. So I'm from Florida, so I automatically think like mangrove forests, which are creepy when you start walking through them, like the Everglades.
So Andrew, you were talking, and suddenly the southern part seems to be normal plains, but it's so humid you feel like you're breathing water. Chucky, that's just Florida.
That is just Florida.
I like the idea of, you had me thinking, what if we have an ice volcano? Like the plains, and then just in the middle of the plains, it's a volcano, except instead of spewing lava, it spews like dry ice or something like that. Yeah.
I'm totally down with that. Yeah, like
that. Also, it could create glaciers. I was thinking of glaciers earlier, and they flatten the plains, and that's why they are plains.
Let's go. Look at that. We're being realistic with our geography.
With our magic glacier volcanoes.
With our magic glacier, we're being realistic with our magic glacier volcanoes. That's the quote of the stream right there.
Do you have a big mushroom symbol? We have a big mushroom symbol.
It might be under one of the other things. Give me one sec. I'll go with large mountain because it's my idea, and I get to be at least a tiny bit dictatorial.
So, John, we could put Minotaur like roaming the deserts.
Love that.
But that would I would rather have Minotaur as a playable race to people.
Could just be a rogue Minotaur.
I mean, we could do that if you want to do that.
I'm open to whatever.
I think Andrew raises an interesting point, though, that whatever ends up being one of the monstrous quote-unquote races in the world are therefore unplayable to players. So they need to let us know kind of what weird things they want to do before we start seeding them.
Because I don't want there to be any confusion. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like why do we? Because I used to LARP, and in typical D&D and fantasy, orcs are the bad guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that used to bug me was the verisimilitude of the game. I was like, why didn't we kill this guy who made an orc character, right? Like, we kill every other orc that comes in town. Why didn't we kill this orc character? Well, because out of play, we know that he's a paying customer. But orcs attack town all the time. They come in, they lie, they cheat, they steal, and they murder people. And so I don't want to have a Minotaur in town, and it's like, well, is that a bad Minotaur or a good Minotaur?
I see your point.
So, like, one thing I did in my personal world is I took all bad, and I did this years before Wizards did. I took all bad races, and they're just people, right?
Yeah.
Like, they have cities. They may be conquerors. They may play, like, conquistadors or something, but they're just people, and...
I guess that's my thought. Like, if you want to have, like, a Minotaur in the desert, it would be, like, a clan of, like, raging, pissed off, shitty Minotaurs, not, like, good Minotaurs. That makes sense. I don't know.
Oh, so how do you say that? Karsi? Is that pronounced with a hard Q? Okay.
It's hard Q.
I mean, bro, how are we not going to have a Lost Rune in it? I mean, come on, dude. Of course we're going to have a Lost Rune in it. Dude, you had me at Avatar The Last Airbender.
Oh, yeah. And John, that's a great idea. We can just make these reptiles, these bipedal reptile people that look like Gila monsters or iguanas that stalk the desert.
Here for it. I'm not gonna put that on the map, but just
no, these people just spitballing ideas.
No, I mean it's a great idea, but I guess my point is, if just because I didn't put it on the map doesn't mean that like your idea is bad. Like that's a great idea. All right. Cool.
Just shamelessly stealing it.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. 100%. I mean, this isn't monetized. Like, what are they going to do, sooner? Both the rune was an animated necropolis that terrorizes the Ian Fay with the good ideas.
Even... So he just said that, and I just pictured, like, players go to visit it, and they camp, like, outside of it, and then in the middle of the night, they hear the stompings of thousands of feet, and by moonlight, they see the city go up about, like, 3 feet, as, like, 10,000 skeletal legs come out of the bottom of the thing, and the city just starts marching away from the party.
That's so sick.
I was also imagining it moving, and your idea is way cooler than what I was thinking, so yes, that sounds freaking awesome.
I'm so fucking... Dude, like, I'm going to start playing right now. Like, I'm fucking hype. I like your idea of a maze. I'm just trying to find like something that would be appropriate for that, like an icon. I'm just gonna type it out, just to save time. What'd you say?
Actually,
hedge maze.
What if the hedge maze was what was plugging the border between the east and this area? So they put up it's like their first line of defense.
I like that idea. I like that
the
idea
hedge
a lot.
maze is right before that swamp, and to get into this area, you have to solve the hedge maze.
Love it. And there's a dead Cedric Diggory. JK.
Aww.
My boy! Alright, sick. I like this. I think this is a great place to start.
Yeah.
I think we've got some really good ideas that are written down for the sake of time and just respecting everyone's time. I say...
I wrote them down for you guys, don't worry.
Oh, thank you. I say, let us cook up And by the way, everyone, so this map is going to be exported and posted in the map channel of the Discord server, so you'll have a reference to it. So let's create the starting town, shall we?
Real quick, everybody, on the Discord, I'm Left Hand of Doom. So I'm going to real quickly, before we get into that, I'm going to read the ideas I have written down. If I have missed your idea, please message me on the Discord so I can add it to our list. I have the Aurora Borealis forest. I have the I have the centaurs that act like Huns ruling the plains. We have a black market idea. We have the reptile people that roam the desert. We have the marching necro city, and we have the hedge maze. So if I missed anything, please message me on Discord, and so I can add it to our list to share with Rice and Austin, and make you guys suffer. I mean, have fun.
Someone said something about dwarves who came over here. I was thinking we could do like dwergars, evil dwarves.
For sure.
Someone mentioned that in the chat, I think.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Dark dwarves, or we could just steal Dwemer from Skyrim if we're gonna steal stuff.
For sure.
Whatever. What? Dark Iron Dwarves from WoW?
Oh, beautiful.
They get redeemed? What?
Or dark dwarves from Warhammer Fantasy.
Dude, I love playing Warhammer, or Total War Warhammer, and I have an Age of Sigmar like starter kit, but I played it like one time. I wish that. Well, didn't they bring back Warhammer Fantasy? I think they did.
They did.
Yeah. All right, so we'll do watercolor cities for this landscape, and so this is gonna be the last chance. So let me pull up the Dungeon World rules right now, because the good news is Dungeon World handles a lot of this shit for us, and I actually told this to Andrew and Rice, because we're like, how are we gonna, like track the growth of the town? Because that's another big thing about this whole social experiment is the growth of the town as we play. And the great thing is that Dungeon World. Where the fuck did I? You guys are getting to see the background of my entire computer here. Where the fuck did I put the Dungeon World rules? Whatever. Dungeon World has rules for how settlements and whatnot are done with their steading tags, which I did a video on. No big deal. You should just totally check it out. Totally thought I downloaded the Dungeon World rules. But evidently I did not, so...
You are correct, Dapper. This town is basically, the first ship they sent over was just laden with laborers and supplies, right? Because they weren't sure what they were going to find there. And those laborers started building, right? And so some of them are elves, some of them are dwarf, some of them are minotaur, some of them are various races.
Mm-hmm.
And they just started building. So the town looks very just hodgepodge thrown together, because there's no city planner. You know what I mean?
There's no city, but what, they didn't send a city planner on the first ship? What? So in order, if you want to just be like super, just a book stickler, this would be like a village, for example, like bare minimum village. So I think we should establish our steading tags first, just because D-Dubs is genius with that. So bear with me for just 1 second while I find that section. So we're going to start. It's poor. We've got a steady population growth. There's a militia. Chat, you get to decide on the resource. And then we've got an oath to the old world, if you will. So let's start with those deals or details. What do you guys think the resource that this village starts with is? Can the leader of town be a blind centaur seer who communicated with the old world prophet in the first place? Carsey, I see no reason not to. What do you guys think?
I say if Carsey writes it up, I can make that happen.
Carsey, you write it up and it is canon. The right hand of mood. That's Chucky. Get the fuck out of here. Ziggy, I agree. I think multiple buildings from various different cultures of the old world jammed into this one. 100%. That's the way to go. It's canon.
Let's see. So we're gonna go with poor, right?
Yep. The loot from adventures is the resource.
I mean, at this point, like I said, nobody's found an iron mine. This town is going to be very, very, very bare bones, right? It's going to be
100%.
it's probably got a good food income, with the fertile lands around it. But other than that, I honestly don't see it having much more.
Unless someone disagrees, I would say like fish would be.
I was
the
totally gonna
resource.
say fish.
Yeah.
Call, yeah.
So we're gonna go. If one of you wouldn't mind writing it down, poor, steady, militia, fish.
Oh, whoa, dude, slow your roll. Poor. What was the second one? Steady.
Yep.
What's the next one?
Militia,
Okay.
and it has the resource fish.
All right. I got that written down on the
No
back of
oaths.
the other cool ideas.
Cool. So we'll start with. I mean, we got to start with. Everyone knows what we're gonna start with here. You got to start with the inn. So. I mean, you got to. So we'll go.
The first thing the laborers built was where are we making the booze?
Where to get schwasty. So we'll start with the inn. Now accepting applications for the name of the inn. What does everyone think?
Is the inn also gonna double as, I guess, a brewery attached to it?
Sure. Maybe the town has a tall tower in the center with a horn at the top. When it's blown, the town would go into panic mode and organize a defense. Blazer Trail, it's canon.
I like it.
And then we'll steal your idea, so we'll make it nice, big. Right in the center of town. This big ass tower. Okay.
I hope everybody is having as much fun as I am doing this.
I'm having a great fucking time.
Like this is a great night.
Yeah, I've never made a world with so many people having input on it. You know, a lot of the prep you do as a game master is kind of solitary. So
Which-
this is a nice change of pace.
Like, one of my, if it serves Eastern food in his name, the walk and roll. I like the pun. I like where your head's at, but we'll get some other ideas. Yeah,
I'm
I think.
surprised-
What was that?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah. Normally, like world building is one of my favorite parts of DMing, so I'm kind of stepping outside of my comfort zone here. But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I thought John wrote that because John is amazing at the jokes, at the dad jokes.
He's got the yokes. Have the
I
first
thought-
session in a festival or some sort, like first full year of everyone coming to this new continent, maybe. Ziggy, if you want to, do that, you should totally put it in the looking for game chat, and we could probably make it happen.
I mean, there's, I see you say that Ziggy, and what my mind goes to is the opening of Chrono Trigger.
I haven't played Chrono Trigger.
You're 12, man. Come on.
I am 12. It's a lie.
But yeah, so Chrono Trigger starts where it's literally like the 1,000-year anniversary of the city, and you go into town, and like there's like contests you could do, like find a little girl's cat. It's really cool. So
That is pretty cool. The one thing though, Ziggy, that's very like kind of universal in West March's play is that the town is kind of always safe. The lynch, but God, Ian, get the fuck out of here with your great ideas.
I mean, to be fair, if all you sent over was laborers, right, and like one of these guys is making a sign, I see the linchpin. I see it. It's like, you know what I mean? Like because they're laborers.
It's just a linchpin.
Yeah,
It
like
is
the
a linchpin.
laborers. Like, okay, so what are we going to build first? We're going to build the tavern because we need a place to sleep and we want to start brewing beer, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, if we're going to build that first, we're going to build everything around it, right? Yeah, like it's the linchpin of the town.
Oh, God damn it, Ian. You keep having these great ideas. So here's the thing. Wait, who said that? Blazer Trail? Blazer Trail, if you were free to, as the game goes on, to have your own, to open your own inn in the wilderness somewhere and call it the Sleepy Horn. I like the Sleepy Horn. The only problem is that the linchpin is just so good. My brain is at your service. It's fine. This one's geared for clockworks are the constables for the town. That's pretty tight. So the thing is, Terracus, we don't know what the town's like yet. You know, we're going to figure that out. Maybe they named it after something, like if it's a poor town. So the name of the town is Last Chance because it is literally, I don't think you were here for when Andrew was explaining the lore, but to just sum it up in literally one sentence, this town is literally the last chance for the mortal races of the world before extermination.
Yep. So we got the linchpin, which is just a great name. Maybe you find a little brewery and stick it out behind it?
Yeah, sure. This town looks to the inn like FEMA looks to a Waffle House. Or, dude, why'd you have to... I miss Waffle House, man. It's the one thing about moving back out to California that I miss.
You guys don't have Waffle Houses out there?
No, unfortunately not.
Dude, I have like 11 in Pensacola.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
There's like...
All right. Linchpin and its brewery is right behind it. I love that idea. Okay, what else do we need? What else does like a town, you know, the Attack on Titan city, if you will, of you know, this world need? We obviously have the tavern, probably a blacksmith.
Do we? They don't have any iron yet.
Oh shit, yeah, that's right. But like they got to make tools.
They brought them.
Yeah, they brought spirit. That's why the first boat is like
You're right.
30. It's like a galleon, but it's got like 30 dudes and then supplies.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
you're
could
right.
have maybe a mill or something. I don't know if there's a lot of trees on the island.
Yeah, why not?
Well, there was. Yeah, like John said, in Florida, you give directions by Waffle House.
That's so fucking funny, dude.
Go to the Waffle House, take a left, go down, take a left at the next Waffle House.
Okay, so we got a windmill, and then maybe next to the windmill is a bakery. Just while we're, you know, verisimilitude.
Similitude.
Yeah.
Yep, nice windmill.
Windmill.
Make sure the fans of the windmill are facing southwest, because I believe that's what chat said is where the wind is coming from.
I believe, yes. It was a specific person in chat. I would give you your credit, but I don't remember who said
I don't remember who did it either,
Yeah.
but that's why I'm pointing. Somebody in chat said that.
Good call. So we should probably have the windmill to the southwest then.
Yep.
And then we'll have a bakery next to it.
Yep. And then a small residential area
100%.
behind the tavern, right? That's where the laborers have been living.
Ooh, I like it.
And then I think from that point, you know, as the second wave of people arrive, which is going to be some heroes, and I use heroes in air quotes, everybody. Well, you guys can see me on camera. So we have some heroes coming, and then some like general people coming, because we need farmers and stuff like that. So I can see, you know, like Laser says, you know, some kind of more spread out, you know, like 3 or 4 houses together, and then you have like a couple of families working a big plot of land or something. And obviously they built enough houses for heroes to live in, and then people around town. I see them bringing enough like iron ingots and stuff, like to repair tools.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe make a few weapons, you know. But if you lose your weapon in this game, I want it to be important. I want it to feel like I broke my sword and I have a problem.
If you lose your weapon, you're fucked. But I think there would be a blacksmith for those basic repairs, but like the blacksmith does not have.
He's literally a tool guy.
100%.
Carsey, I'm with you. I love a big guild hall. I think there needs to, because that also in the future leads to a political faction where you're like, well, we're all the workers. You know, you're going to do what we say, or we're just not going to work. And the moment we stop working, the entire town grinds to a halt.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a big fan of guild halls and the politicalness that they bring.
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
Tarkus makes a good point. We do have to have the quest board that we're going to be using in the game. So maybe do we want to put that in the tavern? Do we want to have that outside, like a big board or something? But I would like that to be physically represented in the world.
I agree. Give me one sec.
Blazer
So-
said a public meeting house or council chamber, mayor's house, etc. Maybe that's where the board could be. If it's some sort of like official business, city business.
So
City business.
I'm gonna throw a term out here, and I'm gonna explain the term before I throw it out. There is a term often used in LARPing. I've never heard it much used at tabletop. It's called FOIP, which is find out in play. And so, Carsey, I will say there is not a shrine on this in this town, and to FOIP.
Two FOIP. Right.
I'm thinking maybe a smokehouse or something for the fish.
Oh,
That's what
yes,
people do
yes.
with fish.
Yeah. So whichever way the water is, you want to put the that out that way.
Cool. I think the water is to the southwest.
And I will agree with Chucky, potato farm, because you can make booze and food out of potatoes.
The thing about potatoes
So
is
we're a
that
vodka city.
you can you can boil them, mash them, and stick them in a stew. Okay, so the
You guys are
smoke-
throwing out some great ideas.
I know. I haven't. Holy shit! I like pull up chat.
Oh,
and just-
ducks.
Yeah, Piers, we need that.
Oh yeah, that would make sense. Because this
So,
is a
Carsey-
coastal city. I'm a silly goose.
Yeah. Carsey, I hope me saying FOIP to that temple makes you go, well, no, I gotta find out.
That's the goal. All right, we'll just do a little bit of that. It's not gonna be super detailed, but this is obviously a living document, if you will. So as things progress, what the
Ooh,
fuck?
while you're
is
doing that,
this?
Austin, I did want to cover this with you guys. So one of the problems that we're going to run into, and we're either going to use an idea that I came up with, or we're just going to kind of hand wave it away. Is we're going to run into a problem with travel time as this game progresses, right? Because if it takes you 9 days to get somewhere and then do an adventure there, and then 9 days to get back, it's kind of hard to then tell Rice, oh, hey, Carsey's character can't go on an adventure for 18 days, right? And what fun would that be if I'm running a game on Wednesday and Rice is running a game on Thursday? That would suck. So, if you guys want something that we can have a mechanic in the game that explains why you guys can travel these distances fast, we have something prepped for that. If you guys are like, I'm totally down with just hand waving it, right? I think we can just hand wave it.
I'm personally team handwave, but ultimately it's up to y'all. We do have a pretty cool mechanic. This also brings up another thing that I actually wanted to bring up, because I kind of like the idea. It's kind of a dickish idea, but I like the idea of after, like, when you get to the end of your adventure, like if you didn't complete the dungeon or whatever, you were transported back into town, and then you can write about it, and then someone else who's more efficient or whatever can then further explore the dungeon.
That's kind of dicky.
It is kind of dicky, but it's up to you guys of what you think.
Yeah. So John Horses so imagine going from the fishing town to the temple. There's just no way you're going to get there in anything but days. And for Blazer and Carsey, as the early on in the game, you guys will find out, it will become clear why there's no temple here. And anybody who makes a cleric, I think, Austin, you'll agree, we're going to give them the backstory first because they'll be playing
backstory, but yeah.
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 Austin, I would like you to do a write-up on that for Rice and myself so we know how much you want to give out for the clerics.
Cool. Since religion.
So you guys make the call. If you guys want hand-waved time,
yeah. And you don't necessarily have to start right now. Like, you don't have to decide that right now. But it's just something to think about, especially as we get in. Because after the stream's over, like, we're open for business. So feel free to organize games, and we'll make it happen.
I may even run a game tomorrow morning. I got some plans tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, but my wife likes to sleep in on her
All
days
right.
off, so I might be
She-
able to squeeze in a game in the morning.
Is she gonna play with us?
There's a possibility that she will play with us. Yes,
Let's fucking go.
I really hope she does.
By the way, here's your potato fields. Of course, the only bit of agriculture on the island are the potato fields that will inevitably be made into vodka, as Rice said.
So the spells and magic may or may not count. Is religion an option under Bardic lore?
Ian pointed out we need a place for the militia if this little village is going to have a militia, so we could have a barracks of some kind.
Good idea.
You know where the barracks should be?
Hmm.
Under the horn. It should be like there's like the building, and then like the tower goes off the top of the horn like a radio tower. So
Good
the
call.
horn goes up there, and so the militia is like right there in the center of town, and they can
Mhm.
report anywhere. Lucky chicken, Ian. Nope, that was Chucky.
Old
Good
Chuck.
call, Ian, on the militia. Yeah, so like I said, when Austin writes that up for Rice and I, there will be a little dip into a little bit more info for the clerics. Other classes, if you're like, we have this, we are working on the Pantheon that will.
And-
Or do we want to just say make up a god that you follow and then we'll incorporate it into the world?
I am team make up a god that you follow and we'll incorporate it. So whoever gets first, yeah, FOIP. Whoever comes up with that idea first gets it. We're polytheistic here. Right, Rice.
I do have
yes.
one request that we not use like Zeus and things like
Yeah,
that. If you're
the
gonna
original.
make up a god, I already know Chucky's gonna introduce Pie Heel because he created him for one of our Dungeon World games. He is the god of healing, learning by hard knocks, and the god of extreme like adrenaline things, and that's why he picked up healing because too many of his followers were like bungee jumping and killing
Oh, that's
themselves,
hilarious.
and so they picked up healing. Yeah,
All right.
people playing will get to make gods, and Austin, would you say something maybe like 20, 30 gods?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
I think Blazer asked if we'll be doing multi-session or if we'll be allowing for multi-session adventures. What are y'all's thoughts, or do we want to answer that now, or
That's
or
kind
so-
of a indirect follow-up to my really dickish idea.
Yeah.
If you guys think multi-session adventures are fine, then I'm okay with it.
The hardest part is, of course, you then have to. All those players have to coordinate
Mm-hmm.
to be back at the table. I think the GM could change, but the players would have to be able to coordinate again.
So I would say let's leave that up to the DM, right?
Okay.
And the table at the
Yep.
time, right? So I run a game tomorrow afternoon, we don't finish it, or tomorrow morning, we don't finish it up. And I tell the group who can be here, say Sunday morning,
Mhm.
same time, right? And say I have 4 players and 3 of my players can do it, 1 can't, right?
Mhm.
So then we invoke that weird thing that happens on this island that, you get sent back to town, right? You just respawn at town. And so now he's free to go on another adventure. And then the next day I run the 3 other people through the rest of the adventure. Or maybe I say we're going to meet together next Saturday to finish this up. Ideally, personally, I'm going to aim for my stories to be 4-hour self-contained stories. You're back in town.
Same here.
That's what my goal is. Now, obviously, that can shit the bed.
Sometimes it just doesn't happen, and that's okay. But I think for me personally, and I like the idea of DM by DM, group by group basis. But
Yeah.
like if I run a session and it goes over one session, it's gonna be over the next session because we don't want this to turn into there's 24 people in, so like I don't want 6 different groups all running, for example. Like we want that interconnectedness. Old Swingy Boy said would like to have it so players may be able to swap out between game and we hand wave it. I'm open to that. I don't know what you guys think about that, but yeah, totally open to that as well.
So Dapper, a small change on your idea. Instead of you already have a thieves guild and you're trying to find out who the best is. What about the thieves that come over are competing to be the first guild master? You still kind of get the same effect that you want, but now you're trying to be the boss.
That's juicy F.
Blaze.
Trail. Will there be other safe towns set up later on? I just responded to you in chat. You'll have to set them up, my guy or girl.
Yep. Now keep in mind, there's only one town that gets to be safe, and that's Last Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Your town will be subject to, upkeep. You're going to have to be worried about attacks against it. If a group of players go off and piss off the centaur and lead them back to your town because you built a town on the north plains right by the desert, well, you might be pissed off at that player.
Mm-hmm.
We want this world to be yours, right? Yep. And ours. This is not just where a normal game where the DM makes all the stuff. You guys are going to throw out ideas. You're like, I want to build here. Maybe you want to go to the academy with the cloud people in it and kill all the cloud people and build a city there. That's something that can happen, right? That is definitely something that can happen. 100%. That's why we're going to have meetings every few weeks and move the world plot forward.
Mm-hmm. Based on the adventure write-ups.
Exactly.
Which is why the adventure write-ups are incredibly important. So I said at the very beginning, and I'll just repeat it. If you are free to play in an adventure, and if you don't give a shit about that adventure having permanence on the world, totally fine. Like, no sweat on my bones. This is a great place to play Dungeon World. But if you want to have that permanence, then someone in your group needs to do a write-up. So make friends with people who like writing.
Yep. And if you are a really bad writer but you really want to make an impact on the world, reach out to at least me. I won't speak for Rice and Austin, but I love to create, as you guys have heard me tonight. I will gladly help you do a write-up. And keep in mind, when we say write-ups, we're not talking like those people who write the 14-page backstories, John. For their characters.
We don't need to hear, sing goddess, praise be upon Achilles. I butchered that. That was fan service for you, Rice. But
sing goddess of the wrath of Achilles.
Thank you. You don't have to be writing the fucking Iliad, bro. Like, even like a bullet point list of what happened. That's good enough for me.
I was literally going to say, if you can bullet point the thing, or 2 paragraphs, right? 8 sentences, 2 paragraphs, just to break down what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's both to contribute to the collective lore and just to make sure that, you're not making shit up, We don't want it to turn into, like, you remember the old school games of, like, make-believe when you were, a little kid, and you're like, will I shoot you? Will I dodge the bullet? Will I have a heat-seeking bullet? Will I, obviously not that.
So, all right. I'm loving this. I got notes. I got tons of notes down. We got a basic town.
Yep. And obviously this town is going to grow as adventures happen. Needs will be met by you guys. It's going to grow organically. I'm really fucking excited, honestly. I don't know about y'all.
Oh, yeah. One of the things, and Swing, one of the things that we've kind of kicked around is how we're going to track character sheets, right? And so maybe we have in the character area, maybe everybody makes a thread, and we put a little blank template up there, and you paste that template into your thread, and then you update your character. I don't know if there's a way to lock those down in Discord to where only like the DMs could do it, but then we could go in and put 4 XP on your character sheet. We're trying to figure out a way to keep everybody honest, make the game fun, but also not be super intensive on everything has to be done.
And I mean, ultimately, like, I don't know about you guys, but I trust you guys to not be assholes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Last thing I want to cover, obviously, we want safeguards in place for you guys. We want everybody to feel safe. We want everybody to feel that they can express themselves. We as GMs have made some things off limits, right? We are just not going to pursue some storylines. If by chance we hit on a storyline that we feel is okay and you don't, please do not hesitate to stop us so that we can fix the problem. Okay. If we have to fade to black, we fade to black. It's not a big deal. But we want you guys to feel comfortable to come to us and say, I'm not cool with this. Can we move past this scene?
Yep.
This
server's meant to be inclusive. Like anyone is free to play here. As long as you adhere to, we don't tolerate the intolerant. But other than that, you're welcome to play here. If you're not cool with something, just let your DM know, and we'll move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I want to stress this. Playing is a privilege. It's not a right. Very simple. If you are disruptive, if you are an asshole, if you are a bigot, you're, the first step is we are allowed to say, this guy's a bigot. I'm not running games for him.
Yep.
And that means you're down one DM. And more than likely, Rice gets in a game with you and you're the same way. And Rice is like, I'm not running games for them either. And then Austin's like, well, let's just kick them off the server.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to ban people. Like,
so we don't want to. Yeah. So if you're a bigot, keep it to yourself.
If you're a piece of shit, just don't reveal that aspect of yourself to everyone.
Exactly.
But like to have a rule in place that's not necessarily negative. If you want to like go ham with the RP, like dude, totally encouraged. I know someone asked, I forgot who it was, could we do adventure write-ups in character? Dude, fuck yes, please. That'd be awesome. Yes.
Brownie points are invaluable resources in the game.
Yeah, totally. Dude, if you want to do your adventure write-up in dactylic hexameter, Rice will shit himself.
Yes.
So
yeah.
So if you guys have ideas, hop on the Discord.
Yep. The suggestions channel is there for a reason.
Exactly. Throw your suggestions. And keep in mind, a suggestion is not necessarily like a rule or a change or something. It could be an idea for anything. Maybe you just have a cool idea that something that we could use. Will it be used? Who knows? I can tell you right now, I'm digging the centaurs and the walking city and the hedge maze.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
the freaking bird temple, let's fucking go, dude. I'm a random person,
right?
But this is making me want to join the Discord server and play with you guys. Why haven't you joined the Discord server already, my dude?
Link it in chat, bro.
Yeah, okay. Ignore Andrew. Ignore Andrew getting fucked up real quick. We're just gonna go to.
I would say too, going back to I guess the safeguards. Some of the things, if they're important to you, let us know early on.
Yeah.
For example, in my home game, I always play with a player who is incredibly arachnophobic. So in all of my worlds, there are just no spiders. The mosquito problems, they're terrible, but they just don't exist.
Yeah, I am extremely arachnophobic, and my friends find it hilarious sending me pictures of spiders.
Indeed.
But I'm not like this. I'm arachnophobic when it's like in my house. And then I have to scream and run and then have my wife come and kill a spider.
Indeed.
So.
And then once again, just to reiterate, like if you do want a DM, just in the future, just let one of us know and we'll discuss it if you're cool. I'm just kidding. Kind of. And then we'll work that out. I know Swing Ripper, you said that you wanted to DM in the future. That's definitely open. Anyone else, just hand me up. Definitely list triggers that can happen at the start of the game, 100%. We want to keep it... I hate using the term because it sounds lame, but it is true. We want to keep it safe, We want everyone to feel comfortable. And, yeah. I can't think of anything else. I'm chilling.
I'm chilling.
I think we hit it. You will. I think all three of us agreed. We're fade to black people. So, if your character wants to have a relationship with an NPC, that's fine. That's what fade to black is for.
Yep. Yeah, we're not gonna. Nobody wants to hear about your fucking fanfic. That's what I'm calling it, to be clean. I know I said fucking right before it, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna just keep this fucking clean, guys.
Yeah, we're
So
anyways. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. If anyone thinks of anything after the stream, obviously Discord server's there. Feel free to chime in. I think this went really well. I had a great time. I don't know about my fellow panelists.
I had an absolute blast, guys.
I think this is great. I have so many ideas
Same here.
coming from this stream, and I really appreciate everyone coming and making it happen.
Dude, I'm blown away by the fucking... I was expecting like 3 people to join, so the fact that, you know, we had the reception we did, I'm fucking hype. I'm stoked. I think this is going to be so much fun, and I just want to play like right now. Like, I just want to run a game like immediately. I mean, I need time to prep, so that can't actually happen, but yeah.
Yep.
All right. Good shit,
Tarkus
everyone.
just joined. Good on you.
Let's go, Tarkus. Let's go. All right, man. I can't think of anything else. Whatever. I'm terrible at outros and goodbyes.
Do you suck at outros?
I suck at outros, dude.
How about this? We'll see you in the Discord
We'll
server.
see you in the Discord server. All right. Adios, everyone. Thanks for joining.